Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Atari A to Z Flashback, a series of explorations of the 150 games that make up Atari Flashback Classics for Nintendo Switch. Today's game is RealSports Soccer for Atari 2600. This was a 1982 release from Atari, and yet another installment in the RealSports series. The RealSports series, if it wasn't clear by this point, was a concerted attempt by Atari to get sports fans back to the Atari 2600, after Mattel's Intellivision platform had made previous attempts at sports games on the 2600 look rather laughable. Now, while RealSports Soccer's graphics are a marked improvement over the blob-like players in the previous Championship Soccer, the gameplay is still pure video game. You've got just 3 players per team, with a wraparound screen effect simulating there being more players than there actually are. Interestingly though, these simplified mechanics and distinctly video game-like considerations make this game a lot more accessible to a broad audience than more realistic or complex simulations. So, let's go play RealSports Soccer.
Okay, welcome once again to Atari Flashback Classics, where today we're looking at RealSports Soccer for the Atari 2600. This is actually one I played a few times before and had a good time with. This is a really fun game for multiplayer actually, because it's very easy to pick up and understand and figure out and teach to new people, and it's also got that magic touch that I've talked about a few times before, which is where it's a fun video game first and foremost, and a soccer game kind of as a distant second to that, really. So yeah, that's quite enjoyable. So let's begin as always by having a look at the manual. RealSports Soccer. Soccer fever! It's the final game of the season, and once again the championship is at stake, only this time it's among old rivals. A goal where the opposing team ties the game with 1 minute to go. You wipe the sweat off your forehead as the score flashes across the screen of a giant indoor stadium. Blue Defenders 2, Red Rebels 1. 2, even. I can't read, can I? With precious seconds ticking away, the crowd is growing restless in the stands. The team lines up for the final kickoff. You hear a screech of the referee's whistle and the ball shoots towards your centre position with the velocity of a bullet. You dart forward and kick the ball to a wing player, but a rebel skillfully steals it away, leaving you off balance. Crashing to the side, you hear the ball whizzing past your left ear. Don't worry. A player on your team intercepts the ball and kicks it to a teammate, but in the tension of the moment he misses. You close in from the wing. Too late! A rebel gets control of the ball and dribbles it towards your goal. Like a shadow, you follow close behind. Only you can steal the ball and prevent him from scoring a winning point. In a split second, your foot snaps the ball from beneath his feet and brilliantly kicks the ball high across the field. What a pass! The ball lands by your teammate, close to the opponent's goal. The crowd rises to their feet and cheers, anticipating a possible victory. With 20 seconds to go, you sprint towards the centre of the action. A star player for the Rebels tries deflecting the ball to the sideline, but under pressure from your team, the ball spins towards you. You rush to meet the ball before your opponents close in. With a tremendous low kick, the ball barely leaves the ground as it shoots into the goal. A Rebel makes a quick dive and misses. The crowd erupts into a frenzy. Your team has won the game and the championship. Proud fans jump up and down in the stands. In the resounding roar, you hear the loud, clear chant of victory. Almost sounds exciting, doesn't it? Right, this is the reality of it. Soccer players, get ready. With 3 players on your team, as opposed to 11, your objective is to bluff, pass and outmaneuver your opponents to score the most points before the clock runs out. You score 1 point for each goal. Play against a computer or play against a friend. Yeah, so this is a very simplified version of soccer in which you have 3 players on screen at any one time on each team. You control one of them. And a bit like the way RealSports Basketball worked, each of the players is confined to a particular area of the screen as well. Now, the twist on that is there's a feature in this called wraparound, which means that a player can run off one side of the screen and reappear on the other. And that's used to sort of simulate there being more players than there actually are. Is to simulate sort of running further up the pitch and a player appearing from further down the pitch or something along those lines. Anyway, it makes sense and it's a fun mechanic. It's also very, very silly. It also looks ridiculous when you first show this to people. The first time we played this game and we discovered that this was a feature, there were fits of giggles for quite a long time. It's great. But yeah, this is a very simple game to learn. And there's a bunch of different game modes that are simply different numbers of players and different lengths of match. So, best thing to do, let's just play. RealSports Soccer. We got a nice bit of music as well. I say nice music, it's all relative on the 2600 really, isn't it? Okay, so our game modes, we can cycle between them with the game select switch. Easy 9-minute game, 2-player. We want a 1-player game. So you basically got the choice between 5 and 9-minute games for 1 or 2 players at, I think, 3 different difficulty levels on it. So easy, intermediate, advanced. Yeah. So those are your options there. Okay, so let's start with a 5-minute easy game for 1 player. We are the purple team. And you'll see that tackling in this game is a simple matter of just running into the ball and snatching it off your opponent. But there are no goalkeepers. No goalkeepers. And as such, scoring goals is relatively easy. So it's all about... There we go. That's how you can sort of simulate having a goalkeeper using the wraparound feature there. Just run off one side of the screen, reappear on the other, and steal the ball back. And then run like the wind. Yeah, generally speaking, it's always better to try and use the wraparound feature to catch up with an opponent rather than running. Because although you run a little bit faster when you don't have the ball, you will reach your target a lot more quickly if you use the wraparound instead. Get out of there. Right. Run. Give me that. Oh no! It's a disaster. And this is the easy level, remember? Oh, no, that wasn't good. Give me the ball. Now, much like the other RealSports game, this is a fairly simplified version of the rules of soccer. You'll notice that there's no sort of throw-ins or penalties or goal kicks or indeed anything other than just getting the ball and hoofing it down the pitch as hard as you can in the hope it goes in the goal. No! There we go. That's more like it. Now we've equalised. See, the great thing about this game is because it's more video game than super accurate sports simulation. Oh no! It's super accessible to people who don't generally like sports. Like me, I'm not a big fan of sports. I'm not a big fan of sports games generally. But because it's just a fun video game, particularly in 2-player mode, anyone can enjoy this and get something out of it. And I can speak from experience to that, because not only have I enjoyed playing this game in 2-player mode, my friend Tim, who came over and is as much of, if not more of a sports hater than I am, he came over along with a couple of friends who do like football. And we all played this together, and we had a brilliant time. We played a bunch of different games. But honestly, the time we spent playing this game was one of the highlight moments of that particular session of playing together. And that really surprised me, because I was not expecting the game to be popular at all. I'd sort of put in as a kind of joke inclusion to the playlist, if you like. Just as a sort of look how far we've come sort of affair. But it ended up being really popular with everyone, including the people who don't like sports. And it's really testament to its simple rules and structure, its decent responsive controls. You can hopefully see on the video how sort of quick and smoothly this moves around the screen. I mean, the scrolling is chunky because it's all character-based rather than doing actual scrolling, but the actual movement of the sprites is super slick and very, very smooth. And you have immediate response to your controls. You press the fire button, it kicks. That's all you need to know. Press the fire button while holding a direction, you will kick the ball in that direction. Run off the side of the screen, and you get that ridiculous situation. I love it. I love it so much. I love the wraparound feature. Run. I love that there. You just burst out of the goal mouth and say, "Ha ha! Oh, can't believe that didn't go in. Go on, get in, get in. You shit. Give me the ball. Kick! No, Get it back. Oh, you bugger. Now, you can actually turn the wraparound off. I don't know why you'd ever want to do that, because it is the best feature of this game by far, but if you do find that the wraparound feature is causing your matches to appear a little bit unrealistic, then you can turn it off using the difficulty switches. And I believe by doing that, you can actually turn it off independently for each player. We'll check that in a second, just to see if that's the thing you can do. Because if you can, that means you can sort of handicap a more experienced player. There we go, victory for me, 10-6. I was worried that wasn't gonna work out for a minute, but there we are, 10-6. All right, let's just have another quick look at the manual. Here we are. You can use the wraparound feature in RealSports Soccer to run your player off one side of the screen and have him reappear on the other side of the screen. When using this feature, the control player must not be in possession of the ball. A control player can run off either side of the screen but cannot run off the end of the field. Only your control player can score a goal. I guess it'll be in the game variations thing. Oh yeah, here we are. Difficulty switches. The switch in the A position has no function. The B switch creates a wraparound feature. Okay, so you just turn it off or on, so you can't actually handicap the other player. I was wrong there. I do apologise. Right. Okay, let's have another go. This time around... Hold on, did I read that correctly? Let me check that again. I was confused by its wording there. The switch in the A position... No, I was right the first time. Okay, so the switch in the A position, A for advanced, remember, that makes it more difficult by turning off the wraparound feature for that player. And in the B position, B for beginner, remember, that turns the wraparound feature on for that player, making it easier for them because they can take advantage of that feature. Okay, right, that makes sense. So, let's have a game without wraparound. I know it's less fun, but just for comparison's sake, I'll turn off wraparound for both players. And let's set it to an intermediate 5-minute game for one player. And off we go. You see, you can't run off the side anymore. So it makes it much more difficult to get the ball back. And that forces you to focus on your passing a lot more. And to try and get some good tackles off. But yeah, it's much more difficult. I don't know that I'd say it's impossible, but it is certainly much, much more difficult. With the limited amount of space you have available. Because the pitch is only a certain amount of size, and you've only got so much time and space to catch up with a player who's running away with the ball. It's not impossible, but it is tricky. So, in order to prevent yourself from being tackled, you need to pass a lot more between your three players to try and keep the ball away from your opponents. But if they do get it past you like that, you're in a fair amount of trouble. Come on, run! Oh! This is going to be a crushing defeat for me. I can sense it now. Alright, you take that. Then you go up there. And you run like the wind. Come on, run, 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 run. And kick! See, I much prefer the game with the wraparound feature turned on. But as you can see, it's quite a different sort of tactical experience if you do turn it off. It means you have to think very carefully about how you're passing and how you're using your three players, and it's interesting. I think this mode is probably more appropriate for people who have a bit more experience with football games and sort of the inherent tactics of sport. But yeah, it's quite interesting just how much of a difference it makes to the core experience. And it makes it significantly harder. 10-2. It hasn't been a complete clean sweep for the other team, thankfully. But... oh no, that was unwise. Take it. Kick it. That's it. Run. Oh. Yeah, this is where you start to notice the limitations in the fact that each of your players can only cover a third of the field at once. Because sometimes there's times when you want to, say, bring one of the wingers down the screen a bit, and they can't do it because they are stuck in their lane, as it were. That's got it. You're going to kick it into a position where it's just a significant distance ahead of the opponent, and preferably with the middle player, then you're sorted. Which actually, extricating it from the opponent is a bit of a challenge, though. Oh, no. Oh, I should have passed that away sooner. You might notice as well that not only do you run a bit faster when you don't have the ball, the player you control actually runs a bit faster as well. So if you're trying to catch up with your opponent, you need to make sure you have the correct player selected as soon as possible. Oh. Come here. Oh, no. It's a fight. A fight for not losing quite as embarrassingly as I am already. Curses! That went poorly. I love that so many of the goals in this game have just been like tapping it in when it's just resting on the line. Just tap it in. Oh no! Grab the ball. That's it. Pass it over there. And run. Run! Run! Kick! Damn it. Give it. No. Give it. Oh, oh, oh. 16-4. I will accept that for a game without wraparound. Pass. Oh, no, miss. Pass. Ah, disastrous. Absolutely disastrous. Alright, let's have just one more game on the hard mode with wraparound, just to wrap things up. So advanced 5-minute game, one player, off we go! It's a good start. We're off to a good start. Alright, pass. Nope. Oh, wraparound is not helping me this time. Yeah, aggressive. Oh, and they're pretty good at passing it out the way of you coming in for a tackle as well. That's a surprisingly solid AI going on there. I say that. AI might be a strong word, but you know, it's sort of accurately kind of predicting what I'm going to try and do, and absolutely running rings around me in the process. Oh dear, this is this is a real disaster. Oh, it's so hard to take it off him. Maybe... Oh, actually Actually, retrieving the ball after a successful tackle would be good. Right. Actually, maybe passing it backwards. No. I'm getting flashbacks of my time on the local Cub Scouts team, where we would regularly lose 20-0 to various other local packs of scouts because we sucked and we had me on our team. Also, we were sponsored by a scrapyard. I suppose it's kind of cool that we had any sponsorship at all in the first place, but even so, we were terrible. I never pretended to be any good at football, even while I was part of that football team. It was pretty much just a social thing, because I used to enjoy Cub Scouts, and so I used to enjoy doing things with my friends, and that was something that I could do with my friends, and I didn't really like actually playing football. Oh, now that's an interesting tactic. You kick it upfield and then retrieve it with a player using wraparound. Yes! That's how we do this. Right, kick it up there. Go get it. Kick it up there. Oh, he's got it back. He's got it back. At least I've ruined his clean sweep. I've ruined his clean sweep. It may only be with one goal in this entire match, but I'm not completely humiliated. And kick and run and kick and run. Kick. Uh-oh. Kick. No. Damn it. There was a perfect chance there and I blew it. Absolutely blew it. So poor. So poor. This is the most difficult mode in my defense. Kick, run, kick, run, shoot! Oh no! Winger not good at scoring. That's it, come on, kick! In! Oh. Satisfying, I won't lie. It's satisfying to actually get a goal in against this difficulty level. But I think it's looking like 2 might be our limit. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, getting the rhythm of this now. It's all about exploiting the ridiculous mechanics. There we go. Now we've got it. Too little too late, I think, but... yeah, definitely too little too late with only 28 seconds left to go. But, you know, it's something. All right, kick, run, shoot! See what I mean? Fun video game. Terrible football game. Fun video game. Six seconds. I'm not going to equalise the 6 seconds, but I can make the situation slightly less embarrassing for everyone involved. There we go. 18-7. That was more respectable than it could have been. I was expecting them to completely ruin me in that case, but thankfully that did not happen. Anyway, that's RealSports Soccer. That is a game I genuinely like quite a lot. If you get the opportunity to play this with a friend, do it, because it's really good fun. Just I recommend leaving the wraparound on, just because it's just a bit more enjoyable with that in place, I think. Particularly if you or your friend don't have much experience of playing the game in the first place. But also, I think it's kind of a game that's been designed around that core mechanic and taking advantage of it. And the inherently sort of ridiculous sights that it tends to create over the course of a game. Anyway, that's that. That's RealSports Soccer for Atari 2600. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.